What's going on, guys? It's Unchained here, and we're doing some more Diablo 3. We're not continuing any Let's Plays, although this is going to take place in a further area than the last video I put out for this game. I kind of wanted to make a little gaming topic video where I talk about which game console should be purchased if you only had the choice to pick one, and for you skeptics out there, if it's even worth buying one at all. Now, when the new consoles were coming out, obviously the Wii U actually came first. And I was pretty pumped about it, but not too excited at the same time. Now, I'm a huge Mario fan, obviously. Who the hell doesn't like Nintendo games like that, or Mario? I got the Wii U actually as a graduation gift. It wasn't something that I was going to buy myself, nor did I have the money for it. But having gotten it for free, I gotta say it was pretty great. I got it with Zombie U, and New Mario Brothers U, and Nintendo Land, that's right, because it actually came in the box. Off the bat, like, straight out of the box, that game was really, really good, Zombie U. It didn't get rated that well, but it was a good game. Mario Brothers is essentially Mario on the Wii, well, the new Mario Brothers series, but it had better graphics, new levels, obviously. Yeah, Zombie U is really interesting. I liked it. You can actually put messages in other people's games and kind of warn them of things, stuff like that. Say like, oh, I was here, or look out below, or, you know, shit like that. It's sort of like what you'd see in Dark Souls, but not as in depth. But it's really good, actually. For the first next-gen console, I didn't really have, I guess, much to compare it to. I wasn't like, oh, this is so much better than PS4 or Xbox One, because they weren't coming out for another year or so after. But the Wii U, honestly, is highly ridiculed because of the lack of third-party support and the, I guess, just the crazy amounts of kiddie games that they have on there. But I guess it really just depends on what you call kiddie. I mean, we've all grown up with Mario games and, you know, the old Street Fighters, Mortal Kombat, Star Fox, Donkey Kong. They all hold a special place in our hearts. I know they do with mine. And even though I play a lot of shooters these days and a lot of violent games, I always like the casuals. I will never stop liking those types of casuals. But, you know, I gotta say, after playing the Xbox One and PS4, the Nintendo Wii U so far is in first. At least, well, for my opinion. IMO, it is the best one so far. Obviously, we're comparing first-party games here. I think it easily has the best first-party lineup. I mean, we're talking like New Mario Brothers U, Mario Kart 8, Zombie U. It actually has a couple of third parties, like when it first came out, like Black Ops 2 is on it, if I remember correctly. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is an awesome game. They have a really great HD update of the Wind Waker. That is an excellent port from the GameCube. That was awesome. And a bunch of others that I can't name off the top of my head. I know I actually just recently played Shovel Knight on it, so that game kind of sticks with me when I think of Nintendo. They have a lot of really, really cool games on there now. Now, I know you're going to go ahead and say, well, the Wii U's been out for a while, so how can you really compare it against the Xbox and the PS4? Well, if you guys remember, last generation, when the PlayStation 3 came out, we at least had Resistance Fall of Man to oogle over. It was basically like Sony's answer to Halo, and it was really good. And on the Xbox side, we have Perfect Dark Zero, which, although nowhere near as good as the N64 counterpart, it was still a really good game. I loved it. I played the shit out of it. And it had games like Cameo Elements of Power, Condemned Criminal Origins, and naturally your fair share of Madden football games. But easily, when you look at those games compared to this year's and last year's lineup, it's just been really, really depressing. Like, the Xbox One's Rise and Dead Rising 3, I thought those were really good first-party starting games, as well as Forza 5, Killer Instinct, and Crimson Dragon. But now Rise and Dead Rising 3 are no longer exclusive to the console, so what do we have here? What are we looking at? Like Killer Instinct and Crimson Dragon? Is that in Forza? Are we really going to be picking up an Xbox One for Forza 5? I could see if it was a new IP and we just saw Forza for the first time, but I don't think Forza is as good as Project Gotham Racing. I have nothing against Forza. Me personally, I'm not really a racing game fan, so I can't really comment on it. Every time I play the games, I just get so bored. I just feel like they should have like 20 or 30 races and have variety instead of having like 200 cars and like 10 tracks, then you race on each track about 80 times. At that point, I'm going to get really bored. I can imagine anyone would get bored, even racing game fans. The only, I guess, audience I could see really enjoying that game It's just diehard car fans, people that are really into vehicles, driving cars, building cars, collecting cars, just anything cars. I mean, obviously, I guess you could say that's kind of obvious. It's a car game, so obviously people that like cars are going to like the game, just like people that like playing football will like football games. Well, that's not always true. I mean, I could see somebody not enjoying playing a sport, but like in real life, but they would enjoy it in a game form. For me, I mean, driving's fun for me if I can go fast, but for the most part, it doesn't really mean much, and I don't really know crap about cars. I'm more of a computer guy. So when I play a game like Forza, I just get really bored. I try to like it, but it just, I don't know, I need some sort of like just fake incentive to keep playing, whether it's like easy achievements or a quick story mode or even a story mode with cutscenes, or I don't know, just really pretty, I guess, graphics and just crazy power-ups of some kind. Like when Blur came out, I really enjoyed that game, and I love the Burnout series. Like that's where I could really, really lose myself with racing. I love Burnout games, but they're not realistic, and Forza tries to be a simulator, and it does a good job at it. It's just not really for me. But yeah, are we going to be buying an Xbox One for Forza? No. Killer Instinct is really good. I actually got that game for free with a promotion. Ooh, a little cutscene. Mid-sentence, I'm trying to talk, and the game is just like, it's all up in that, yeah, here's a ghost, and I'm going to go ahead and kill you. Actually, I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm experiencing all this for the first time while I'm talking. That's what I was saying about this game in my last video. It's a really good multitasking kind of game. I mean, you don't really have to be paying attention to it. Just go from point A to point B and slash the hell out of everything in your way. It's fun. I mean, that's the point of it, really. So, but anyway, yeah, Killer Instinct's really good. I like fighting games. I'm not good at them. I actively say I'm horrible at fighting games. I wish I was better at them. I tried to get into like games like Dead or Alive and Soul Calibur. I really enjoyed those because they have, their little cameos and stuff. And obviously Super Smash Brothers. I mean, I love, once again, there's a fake, just for fun, overly animated, over-the-top games that just aren't realistic. The more realistic you get, I feel like the more boring you get. I liked Rise. I honestly thought that was a realistic game. I didn't love it, but for a launch title, I thought it was serviceable. I thought, you could see somebody playing the game from afar and say to yourself, oh, that looks ridiculous. I'm going to go buy an Xbox One for that. Obviously until you start playing it, then you realize the entire game involves, like, QuickTime events and stuff. Well, actually, no, it doesn't really have QuickTime events. It's more or less just, like, auto executions that really take no effort. I played it through a few times. I mean, I liked it. It was just really short. You can beat the game in, like, between 4 and 6 hours. So it's not something that's going to last you. Oh, it looks like we're going to fight something from Dark Souls here. Kind of reminds me of, what was that king's name in Dark Souls 2 at the bottom of the pit towards the end? It's like a side boss. It's like some zombie king guy. Into the V. I want to say like Verdoct or something like that. Kind of reminds me of him. Pretty cool little cameo. I'm sure that's not what they were referencing, but it looks like it's a cool enemy. So we're double teaming him here. I have AI backing me up, so I'm just going to keep slashing away while I'm talking. But anyway, yeah, the Xbox One so far doesn't really have any exclusives, is the point I'm trying to make. Dead Rising 3 was another one that was pretty good, and now it's gone. It's coming to PC. In my opinion, since it's coming to PC eventually, then it's no longer an Xbox exclusive, so we can't comment on it. So yeah, Rise and Dead Rising 3 are gone, and those were my favorite exclusives, and they didn't do that last generation. They didn't just start, porting their games over to PC. It makes sense. I understand why they do it. Obviously, if you're a company that owns both the PC platform and the Xbox brand, why wouldn't you move all your games over to PC? Then you could essentially cash in on people that don't have the Xbox. And because obviously the people that have PC, they're, in much bigger numbers. So they make some good money doing stuff like that. It doesn't really make the gamers feel that great. I mean, we go out, we buy these consoles, we want to feel like we are playing great games on it that can only be played on those consoles. And it's just tough when you spend all that money and you don't have anything to really account for it. And, like, whatever happened to that only on Xbox logo that used to, like, be on the games? They're not there anymore. I don't remember if they're on my PS4 games. I'd have to check. Since I'm slashing the hell out of Mr. Skeleton King here, I can't really check, but I know on the Xbox One they don't have anything like that. The only words they had on the games were Day 1 Edition, but, lo and behold, GameStop gave me the boxes that don't contain the Day 1 Edition casing, which isn't really that much different. It's not that big a deal. But they always screw me like that. I pre-ordered those games. That was like the last things I bought from GameStop, and possibly the last things I will buy from GameStop, because they're doing this new like credit card system where they're gonna like start asking you if you want to like pay for a game over time with a credit card. It's got like the worst APR like on the market. Essentially, if you go to sign up for it, I think it's like 27% or something if you don't pay it within a certain amount of time. It's just a bad idea for 18-year-olds that don't know how to manage their money. But that's how GameStop makes their money, off of 18-year-olds that are irresponsible with their cash. But I guess when you're 18, you're considered an adult, so it's not really GameStop's fault, right? But, so yeah, we've been talking about Xbox, a little bit about Nintendo, and now let's talk about Sony. Sony, I think, is doing better than Xbox, but not as good as Nintendo. In its defense, I feel like they made a valiant effort. They have been making a valiant effort. They've had a lot more indie games to play, and their PlayStation Plus program is so good. Honestly, I don't feel like Games with Gold would exist if it wasn't for PlayStation Plus. Honestly, most of the free games I play on PS Plus are free. And honestly, when Outlast came out, I was pretty shocked that that was free, because that game was like $20. I was like, are you kidding me? I can actually play this without paying anything? I was really excited about that. I mean, they give you really good games for free on PS Plus. I'm not talking about like the crappy games like Pac-Man and like Frogger. They're actually good games. Not to say that those games aren't classic, but they give you like full like AAA games to play. Makes you feel good to have it. The current first-party offerings are Infamous Second Son, MLB The Show, which I actually don't have, Killzone Shadowfall, and Knack. Also, The Last of Us Remastered. Killzone could have been good. It kind of felt like it was just a shooting gallery. You just went from shooting a bunch of people to walking around dead space. It didn't really seem like it was finished. I felt like they were just trying to show off the graphics, which it kind of did. The game did look good, though. It really was just trying to serve the purpose of, you know, having somebody look over your shoulder and say, wow, that game is playable on PS4. That looks incredible, you know, to try to show off the game and stuff like that. So that was really the only point. The good thing about PS4, though, is the fact that when they put out games, you feel like they're going to stay exclusive, and they're not just going to, like, offload their first parties to other consoles like Microsoft's been doing. So, you know, it just gives you that extra security with the console. Like, when you get games, they're not just going to start porting all over the place, and you're going to, you know, be able to show them off to your friends and say that you can only play this on that console. See, these days I work and I can afford these games, but back in the day when I was in high school, I couldn't afford any of these consoles. I'd have to choose one of them, if anything. I remember when I was younger, I had to do chores for such a long time just to be able to afford the N64. So I know the pain of having to only choose one console, but honestly, it makes it more fun. Ooh, Cemetery of the Forsaken. Alright, I guess that's where I have to be. Continue on with the slash and talk method. Well, this guy seems like he's going to follow me forever until he dies. I'm not sure if I can heal him, but who knows. But yeah, in order, as of this day, obviously excluding the fact that, you know, obviously Nintendo came out earlier, in the order in which I would say the consoles are, you know, most important, easily Nintendo is in first, and then we're talking PS4, and then the Xbox. As much as I hate to say that, because I don't want to sound like a fanboy, but let's just look at the first parties. I mean, they're way better. I hate, though, that they show you so much information about the games before actually releasing it, though. Like, they've been talking about characters and levels and move sets and stuff. It's like, whatever happened to surprises? Like, if you've added up the amount of characters they've showed off for Super Smash Bros. So far, you might as well already have had the game. Like, I'm not going to be surprised at all when I get it, because I'm going to know everything. I miss going into a game blind. Personally, I just have them release the game with less characters and just release the others with free DLC, just so at least we have the game. Be better. Sometimes I wish things were kept secret. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. Oh my god, I'm getting mutilated right now. Alright, we're making progress here. Trying to spam the ground quake. Spamming the ground quake. Oh, these bulls are such a pain in the ass. Some of these enemies can be tough. Tanks. Tanks! They're such tanks! Luckily, they give you plenty of time to get away. So overall, I would say if you're going to have to pick a next-gen console and you only get a choice of one, I would easily say Nintendo. They're definitely packing the most games. Don't expect too many games to release in the future. I mean, they're very spaced out, but the ones that are there are good. As far as the Xbox One, there's currently only 2 games that are going to be exclusive for it by fall. And those include Halo the Master Chief Collection and Sunset Overdrive. I'm actually really excited for Halo Master Chief Collection, but you can't sell a console off of rehashed Halo games. The second one's Sunset Overdrive. That's the first one I'm actually really excited about. I'm kind of concerned about the exclusivity about it, though, because it's made by Insomniac, the people behind Resistance on the PlayStation side. I'd be very surprised if they be able to keep that exclusive. I don't know, the word exclusive just seems like it takes on a different meaning these days. It just really sucks, because, I don't know, it's like, it just doesn't mean anything anymore. It's almost like a relationship connection. It's like people don't really want to commit anymore. They just want to screw around. So it's sort of like that with developers and game companies. Oh no, roll! Oh, fuck! Resurrected checkpoint. The items have lost the 10% durability. I really need to pay more attention to that at some point. I'm not really sure how close it is to breaking or if they give you a prompt, but I really need to pay more attention. There's still a lot I have to learn about this game, like possibly keeping my weapons, I guess, strong so they're not going to break on me and I'm going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let's see here. Unidentified. Not sure what that means. Hands. Alright, that looks better. See what I have here. Alright, got 96 defense in the shield. Alright, gonna put this there. Doing some item management here, guys, if you don't mind. Just take a few seconds. +5 experience, skills. Not bad, not bad. Equipping things as I go on the fly. Luckily, you don't have to sit in menus for a while in this game. Everything's done quickly. Oh, I love these guys. They drop money. So if I were to buy a console like next-gen Xbox One, PS4, I'd have to go with PS4, though. The graphical differences are just so minor, but I have heard most games do run better on it. And it just seems like the resolution issues just always come up, and the Xbox is always going to be lagging behind. The Xbox One is good in a lot of ways, but if you look at its track record, they have a lot of trouble keeping exclusives. And, I mean, if you really look back on the last generation with Xbox 360, all they really had was like Gears of War, Fable, Halo, things like that. I'm not trying to downplay them because I have played a lot of their exclusives. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Most of them are good. It's just they don't. Especially like this generation, they don't really seem like they're caring much about people that have upgraded. I do, however, mostly get my games on the Xbox for friends list reasons. I love earning achievements over trophies. I really like the controller. Not that the DualShock 4 and the PS4 isn't good because I love it. I like the Xbox One overall. The games run for the most part pretty well. I like the dashboard setup. It's a little dead right now. It needs some upgrading, but it's my main console. I get my third parties on it, but I do wish that they'd be keeping up a little bit more with the PS4 despite the hardware limitation. Next gen thus far has been kind of disappointing though. I mean, I feel like they should be putting out better games that are going to like wow us. It has been a year. It's still early, they have plenty of time to, I guess, surprise us. Who knows what, the fall will bring. Right now, honestly, if you're kind of having an issue with finances and you can't really afford the consoles, don't feel bad because games are currently still getting developed for current gen, like, PS3 and Xbox 360. Developers are also kind of incorporating experiences into current gen to try to, make people feel better about not upgrading. Like this year we have an Assassin's Creed game that can only be played on previous gen called Assassin's Creed Rogue. It's kind of annoying, though, because, you upgrade to a new console, but let's say I wanted to experience both Assassin's Creed stories. What if I don't want to buy a previous-gen game? This year, though, they are starting to kind of push towards next-gen a little bit more, like Evolve is only on Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and I'm pretty sure Aliens Isolation is only on next-gen. I can't remember. But there's a few more games that are kind of pushing its way into next gen, so we don't have to, feel like we're just getting, cross-gen ports, which, those are always really annoying, and it's a controversial topic because you're not really going to be getting the graphics that you should be getting out of, like, the high-end consoles or PC, because you can only build as far as the previous gen can go, otherwise it's not going to run. So there's always limitations there. But yeah, this fall should be interesting. There's so many games coming out in October. There's more than I can count, or almost there's more than I can pay for. Next month we have Destiny, which I'm pretty pumped for, but it's not a first party, it's third party. I'll be getting it on Xbox because it should be 1080, 60. And in October, there's a ton coming out. In November, I'm going to be doing a Let's Play of Halo Master Chief Collection, which I'm really excited about. Granted, it is another Halo rehash, but I'm really pumped for Halo 2 Anniversary because I was really excited about Halo 1 Anniversary. It didn't run the best, but now with the instantaneous button switching between graphics, between the Xbox. I always want to say Xbox One. This is where I get confused. The original Xbox and now the Xbox One. It's going to be great. So there's going to be a ton of content for me to put up my YouTube channel. So if you like this video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'd be glad to chat my ass off and keep you guys entertained in the near future. Have a great night.